there you go. Giving up feels pretty good right now. Today is the job that I've been putting off for ages. We've had storms and I had to rent a bunch of tools. My plan for now is to drill a hole approximately here outside of the truck, just straight outside, for the drainage tube, and for now I'm gonna fix it on gently, and the drainage tube is just gonna go straight down. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill a hole here from the outside in, so I can put my power and my refrigerant lines through. And I'm going to follow a YouTuber called Nomad Bread, who I highly recommend. The way he shows how to install a mini split unit. It's not exactly the same as mine, because mine doesn't have the quick fit lines, which means I have to vacuum the line. We'll talk about that in a second. But he shows you how he mounted his mini split on the back and fed the lines through and connected everything up. So I'm going to feed the lines, I'm going to drill from the outside in, and feed the lines from the inside out, as well as the power cables. What are they called? The cables that connect to the head unit and the power cables that connect to this unit. I'm going to connect them through. Then I'm going to connect the lines to the head unit, mount the head unit. The lines that come through here, I'm going to coil up so they're not just slack. Feed them through, then I connect them and do the line vacuuming, which I have the equipment for. Once I've done that, that means that will be connected, the head unit will be connected, the wires will be connected, then I will connect the power line AC outlet thingy, and then I will test it out. So that is my plan for the day. I'll probably just do voiceover because I'm too busy figuring it out. So this will be majority voiceover, but that is my plan for the day, and whatever goes wrong and goes right, you will know through voiceover. So let's go. So here is the new hole that's been made. The plywood on the outside is 3/4 of an inch thick, and I have my 1 inch insulation, and then my walls are 1/2 inch thick. But there it is. Let's see the other side. Oh, you can see that. So for the outside hole, you get given this to like feed the wires through. So I'm going to use this. It is a 2 1/8 54mm drill bit, which seems to be the exact size of this. So I think that should be okay. I don't know. I'm figuring this out as I go. So we'll see what happens. Okay, now I just have to get it over and done with and do the outside hole. There it is. There it is. Literally see the outside. Okay. Actually fits, which is nice. I don't know whether the outdoor one will. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's literally perfect. It's a perfect fit. That makes me so goddamn happy, you have no idea. So one thing that I've done quickly, I've done kind of wide bends for the refrigerant lines. I've also done that because they're a certain length and I don't have the skill set to cut them. I want to take up as much space as possible so that by the time they reach here, they're at the right length, if that makes sense. So I'm going to install the head unit first and then do the rest of it, all the hard stuff on the outside. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so this is where I use the torque wrench and the little adapter thingies for it, because you have to get the torque right. And I've got the instructions are literally made for every mini split AC unit, so it's useless. So I had to Google what torque to use. So I've got my little torque wrench, and that's what I'm going to do to connect these lines to the head unit first. So, head unit is secure? Question mark. It's, I don't know. There's that gap there, but I think that's just the wall. This is like tight on this side. Seems like it's actually tight on this. I think it's just this. I think it's actually tight on the wall it's attached to. And then we have the two wires, main wires at least. Power line is going to go here. It's the communication line. But I think, pipe-wise, I think we're in a good spot. Let's see the other side and start to connect it up, I guess. So definitely don't use this as a guide to figure out how to install a mini split. Basically what is happening right now is that with a mini split system, there are two types of lines. One is that you can just connect, they're called quick connect, I believe, and they just work. Another is where you have to vacuum them to get rid of any of the debris or impurities out of the refrigerant line, so it just leaves the refrigerant. That is what I understand. For me, I was looking at online guides, trying to figure it all out by myself. I rented all this equipment. I can't even get the connectors working. But this is what I'm trying to do. I'm struggling away. I'm even getting stressed out editing this video because I remember how long this day was. But essentially, I can't really figure out whether the connectors are working properly, whether the vacuum pump is working properly, all of this sort of stuff. That is what is going through my mind at this moment in time. Okay, so sorry about my backwards hats to protect my neck. So, I think I figured it out. I was having trouble with this blue line, but I attached this thing to it, and that now fits, and the yellow fits on the pump itself. So basically the way it's supposed to be is the blue is attached to the service port on the mini split. The yellow is attached to the pump, which is down here. My pump, because I don't have enough length for my electricity, is going into this. I'll talk about this another time. But this is going to run my pump, and what we have to do is use this to pull out to vacuum the lines, basically, to get all the gunk and air and stuff out of the lines. So that's what I'm going to do. This is the first time I've ever done this, so it's going to be interesting. Ten-minute timer. So as I was vacuuming the lines, I did the test, and basically what we're looking for is for it to, when you close the valve, for it to stay, the vacuum to stay at the minus 30 mark, and it keeps going back to 0. So I've tightened, added some extra torque to each of the connections, and I'm going to run the vacuum again for another 20 minutes and do like a long test to vacuum, get everything out. Then I will retry again, but it seems to be going very quickly back to 0, so either I'm doing something wrong or the lines are just like completely fucked. We'll see, but it's the exact thing that I didn't want to happen. Especially with holes in my truck. So what I might do is contact a bunch of people and see if I can get a quote for just doing the lines, basically. Kind of sucks. So just quickly, here's what's happening. It's a minus 30, and if the lines are sealed, then that vacuum will stay on minus 30, right? So when I cut off the pump like this, watch the line. So basically, so that basically means that there is a slow leak. What I do is I put this stuff on it, which is a leak detector. And what that's supposed to do is that if you have leaks, then bubbles start to grow from it. I haven't seen any yet, other than the leaks of when it goes on. As I've been tightening the connections and adding more torque, like to the higher end, that the way it returns to 0 is getting slower. So my hope is, I'm so hoarse today. My hope is that if I run this for 20 minutes, do a full vacuum of the lines to make sure that every tiny little last bubble and everything is out. Then when I turn the gauge off, that it stays at minus 30. What we're looking for is for it to stay at minus 30 for 15 minutes. So as of right now, not looking great, but let's see what happens. It's getting closer, it's getting better, so we'll see what happens. So as I continue to tighten the torque and re-vacuum and retest, something happened that I didn't realize along the way. I'm not sure when it happened, if it's just happened because I just removed everything and this is what happened. This was twisting the line here, and then this just came off. So the other line doesn't seem to have had that same problem, but this one does, obviously. Definitely has a problem. So fuck this day. What a mess. What a mess today. So what I might do, I might just lean into it and go to Home Depot and learn how to reflare my lines, because I don't want to pay $1,000 to get somebody else to do this. Man, what a day. Today is just not it. It's not it. It is currently 90 degrees in Houston, Texas. Yesterday I was trying to get my mini split up. I've decided to walk away from this job completely and get somebody else to do it. So basically what happened yesterday, I ended up kinking the line and snapping one of the connectors. I couldn't get the vacuum to stay at the level it's supposed to. I'm not an HVAC guy, and it's something that I could probably do, but because it's literally 90 degrees here now, I don't have time to figure out what's going on and even install it, and maybe getting it wrong still. I just don't have the time to do that. I have other stuff that I need to do, and if I can't be sure that I'm doing it right for something like this, I don't want it busting in the middle of summer when it's 110 or 115. So I'm going to pay somebody else to do it. So the guy that originally I spoke to that was asking for $950 has reduced it down by a significant amount. So I'm going to take him up on that. So it's money that I don't want to spend. There's a part of me that feels a little bit defeated because it's like, well, I didn't do it myself. There's another part of me that's like, cool, I don't have to think about this now. I can just spend the money and get it figured out. It's going to be 4 days of extreme heat and then storms. So I have to figure out a way to plug the holes in my truck in the meantime. But I'm happier doing it this way. It's Tuesday today. Friday is when he's going to come. I'm going to prep for that by making sure I've got everything I need to in the meantime. And I'm going to buy more roof insulation as well, which will have a minimal effect between now and then. I've done the hard part. I've mounted the head unit, mounted the exterior unit. I've cut a hole in my wall and fed the lines through. I think $350 or whatever it is a good price for the work that they're going to do. So today's job is to buy insulation, fit that insulation in my roof, and plan out the next phase of the build. $350 is not huge in the grand scheme of things, and it's probably worth it for the peace of mind. Just need to survive 4 days of Texas weather. So yeah, a little bit defeated, but also pretty relieved as well. Giving up feels pretty good right now. So today's job, I am going to try to mitigate some of the heat by finishing the insulation in the ceiling. So I'm going to double up these. These are 3/4 inch panels with an R value of 5. I'm going to double them up so they come out to 1.5 inches, which should be exactly the depth of these the metal ribs and the whatever you call the wood bits. I'm tired. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut a bunch now, stick them all in using power grab. But that is the mission today. I haven't tidied up after lunch, so ignore this. Yeah, that's all there is today. So I bought 2 4x8 of the insulation, and it almost covers everything, but not quite. So for now, what I'm gonna do is, this is 4 foot from 1 to here, right? And 68 inches. So I'm going to install this bit of ceiling, basically with my panel nails and my hammer. I'm just going to cut it and install it. Oh, here's the way it's going to be. It's going to be the panel at the front here. This all the way across here is going to be one panel. Then I'm going to skip this one and this one. Then I'm going to have a panel all the way across here to the back, almost to the back. So I'll have 2 full panels done with a big gap in the middle, because I need to figure out how to cut it and stuff. It has to be cut at an awkward angle. So I'm just trying to get the most done in the shortest amount of time, which is kind of the lazy way of doing it. But I don't care. I do not care. So let's see how far we get. Oh shit. Oh man. We'll get a piece of wood to hold it up. So what I thought was going to be maybe 30 minutes of putting in pins into the into the finishing board followed 2 hours. I think it was actually more than 2 hours of talking to my dad, trying to struggle with this finishing board, holding it up and putting it through. The problem is that putting the pins through, hitting the pins through is fine. Once they get through that panel board, unless there's something hard, like directly, immediately pressed behind it, then they just wobble and bend and go in the wrong direction. So you have to have the force, you have to have the finishing board pushed right up against it with no gap. Otherwise the pins won't go all the way through and it holds you back. So trying to get the board held up and hammering the pins in upside down was just an absolute nightmare. And I was trying to get my dad to help me figure out how to hold it up, because I don't have a second person to help, how to hold it up whilst also knocking in these pins. So he was super helpful. He talked me off a ledge a little bit. And finally, I managed to start getting into a rhythm of doing it. But this was something that I thought was going to be a small job, but it really wasn't. It really wasn't. I now have 2/3 of a ceiling. I have a ceiling at the back. This is my wire for my rear light. This is the wire for the front light. Here's how it's looking so far. What I need to do is get more of this 3/4 inch R5 insulation. So I need to get another one of them, and I'm gonna finish this off with an extra layer here, extra layer here, fill in this bit here. Then we have this upper space where I'm gonna put in the insulation there on the walls, and then put in one more panel, and that will be my sleeping area, which means that I can finally put this into permanent storage and build myself a sofa here, which will be sofa storage, probably my clothes. I have this for a USB charger. I have this up here for a projector, which is going to go in this corner here, and my projector screen is going to go there, in theory. So it has been a hell of a day. This is finally feeling almost complete, which is crazy. Oh, the other thing that I need the insulation for is this door. You can actually feel a breeze coming through there. So yeah, one more bunch of insulation should cover the door, cover the roof over there. It's definitely getting there. It's definitely feeling a lot more comfortable now. Once everything is just wood, then I can go into thinking about how much it's about paint and making it look nice and cozy rather than just a wooden box. It's been an interesting little journey so far. It definitely is feeling a little different than what it has done. I mean, this is no Instagram worthy truck. I mean, just in my work area is just nowhere near finished, but it's definitely moving along for sure. So that is it for now. Tired, I'm hoarse. I didn't actually fill in the holes that I wanted to, so maybe I'll do that just before. So I'm going to fill in some holes and then I'm going to clock out. So for now, clocking out.